Alright, ciao, welcome back. It was a strange one yesterday, wasn't it, the Cardiff game, because it's one of those games where you feel like you could get something from, you don't deserve anything from, but in the end you haven't got anything from, simply because you don't deserve it. But there's been plenty of mixed opinions going around on Twitter and, you know, the likes of it. When a result like this happens and when we lose, people go out and go for XYZ person's head, Ryan Law, Ridsdale, Robbie Brady, this person, that person. It happens. But there are a lot of stupid takes going around on Twitter at the minute, so if you are one of those active on Twitter that has seen a lot of these takes, just bypass them. Because at the end of the day, we're still 5th in the league. You know, we've got plenty of positives to pick up from on this season. This is just another fork in the road. It's a bad one, don't get me wrong, we've punctured 3 tyres here, but at the same time, hopefully we'll be able to pick ourselves back up and reset and get back on the road ready for Tuesday. So let's break it down, shall we? Cardiff 2, Preston 1. 2 injury time goals leads to the Cardiff winner and 1 red card for Robbie Brady. Shambles. Right, so we had 4 shots with 2 on target. Very, very poor display. Home or away, it doesn't matter, that's poor. They had 19-8. Obviously we expect to have less possession, we always do, unless it's one of those games where we want to manage it, which this is not one of them. It seems like we wanted to take the game to Cardiff according to Ryan Law, but that just never happened. But yeah, as we look at the table, we're 6th now, sorry, because West Brom won. But yeah, we're 6th. Obviously, the only danger now is that Cardiff have gained 3 points, Hull have gained a point, Sunderland did drop points, which is good, Blackburn's gained points. A couple of these teams are gaining points, whereas we've just dropped some substantial points, which could have, you know, brought us back up this table. We could have been chilling in 5th quite comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but you know what I mean. It would have been a better safety blanket, and we'd be closer to bridging the gap between, you know, 6th and 2nd. Whereas with now, we are closer to losing the gap between 6th and fucking 12th. We'll soon shoot back down to where we belong in 12th place, but that's not to say we can't climb back up like we have done. So hopefully, you know, we'll just take it with, you know, a bit, not a grain of salt, but you know what I mean. We'll learn from the experience and we'll try and pack it in. But yeah, just like last international break, we come back and we have a bit of a stinky. But oh well. Alright, play ratings, Woodman a 6. Clean sheet within touching distance, will be absolutely furious with the goals. Made his fair share of saves over the piece to keep Preston's lead intact. Some very good saves. Story, that's a flattering photo. Story is 6, didn't deserve to end up on the losing side. Won plenty bad dirt over the piece, but at 99th minute, cross caught North End out. Lindsay a 7.5. The Big Scot was fantastic for so much of the game. It was 1 cross too many for the defence in the end. He couldn't leave the pitch with his head high despite the devastating result. Bestie a 6.5. Important early block to thwart NG, or however you say his name, I don't even want to try. His passing out from the back, both short and long, was great. Couple of loose moments with his pocket pick just before half time and him needing to take a yellow card. But at the end of the day, with Best, it's a learning experience. You can probably get away with doing that on the lower stage, you know, with the under 21 teams and the under 21 internationals. You could maybe get away with doing such and such a thing. But when you're coming up against seasoned pros like Callum Robinson, you can't afford to just try and take the piss out of him, because he will take the piss out of you. But like I said, learning experience for Bestie, you'll get there. Potts a 6, put in a typical committed shift and was out on his feet in the end. One of the better performances in a drab first half. Whiteman a 6.5. Marshalled the midfield well for most of the game, moved the ball quick when he got it. Had an opening at 1-0 but didn't get the pass right. Brown a 7, wasn't 100% according to the manager and took a bit of time to get going, but led by example for much of the second half. Had 1 brilliant solo run to force a corner, like the rest flat out on his feet and left utterly gutted by the defeat. Brady 3. Now this is where the social media is absolutely hammering Preston and absolutely hammering Brady. While yes, we all have very strong opinions about this man currently based on his performances. However, at the same time, I genuinely hope Robbie Brady does not have Twitter and does not look at Twitter, because it's fucking borderline abuse, some of the things that are being said. It is abuse, sorry, it's bullying. A day to forget, booked for dissent in the first half and then shown a needless second yellow after the restart. Such an avoidable red card and not what you expect from an experienced campaigner like himself. His dismissal cost North End. So it seems that everyone is agreeing that Brady cost the game. I don't agree fully. While yes, it played a massive part in our ability to control the game, it didn't necessarily take us down to our feet straight away. Where I think it's more a case of, if we had him on the pitch, we could have managed the game, but because we didn't have him on the pitch, we had to try and force to defend the game rather than try and push for winners, which is what we need to be doing in a game like this. We've gone 1-0 up straight after the restart. We need to push for that second goal and then maybe a third to kill the game. You know, with a team like Cardiff, you have to do that. But Brady's first yellow was absolutely stupid. There was no need to get involved. And the second one, if you make a tackle like that, you're going to get booked. Maybe he didn't even know it was on a yellow, but I don't know. Either way, it was a stupid one. Holmes a 6, ran himself into the ground, massively unfortunate to see his clearance smash into Grant and fly in. Lost the ball on occasions, but Preston had 10 men and covered the ground endlessly. Which, yeah, massive shame. Evans a 6. This is some controversy. Put himself about unshored for the ball. His use of his was hot and cold, but worked way up there. Sorry, no, that just worded a bit weird. I had a chance to bring the ball down and shoot in the first half, but his touch was off. And of course, he was headbutted in the first half as well, which caused about a 2-minute long huddle around the dugout, and it only ended up with Ched getting booked as well as the player that's headbutted him. Now, I'm not being funny. You can book Ched all you want for the tackle that he makes, but you need to send off the other lad for violent conduct. The game is the game. In the Premier League, that's a red card. In most other leagues where the referees are competent, that's a red card. I'm sick to death of referees being shit and incompetent at their jobs in this league. It's absolutely baffling how they're employed and getting the wage that they're getting for the job that they're doing. It's not good enough at all, and it needs to be investigated. I say we should have a look at the betting histories and Robbie Brady's. Osmaich a 7. Looked after the ball well on occasions, first half, and then Preston fired them as ahead with a fine solo goal. It was all about him from the tackle to win the ball to finish. Ultimately, though, it counted for nothing. He is getting better for sure. And he loves to score in front of the town end, only the town end. Ledson a 6. Ended up playing 40 minutes almost, was brought on soon after the red card and asked to help things tight. Put his tackles in and kept his game simple, which I saw a lot of people saying, oh, fucking hell, Ledson, but he was just doing his job, you know. I don't think he did anything overtly wrong, to be honest with you. He had to do what he had to do. Simple as that. Hughes a 6. He struggled to blame anyone who was on the pitch too much, and that applies to Hughes. He came on after a month out and held things together pretty well until those mad gut-wrenching final 3 minutes. Miller a 5. This was a strange one. Brought on for the final 10 minutes or so and was put up front. Difficult for him as a lone striker and wasn't moving well. Now, that was a very strange sub. I understand you want to get a bit of pace up front, and Miller is the type of player to take players on, but if he's up there by himself and there's 2 or 3 people back, getting back for him, and then, instantly going in for those tackles, he's not going to get around that. He's a phenomenal player, but he's got no support with him, and no one's coming to support him either. He can't go and do it all on his own. End of the day, that's not his job. It's not his job. We should have made a simple change of shape to bring Miller in, take a player out. I don't know which player we could have taken out. Maybe Holmes, maybe Brown. Not Best, because obviously Best was filling in left centre back, but we could have taken Best off anyway. But I know we did in the end, didn't we? We took him off for Hughes. Yeah. So I don't know. We could have dropped someone at the back, kept maybe one up front, but I don't know. To put Miller up front instead of Keane, it was quite the baffling one in my opinion. Okay, Ryan Law's interview on the defeat. Disappointed for the boys there on the floor in there, but as always I'm proud of them for what they did for large parts of the game with 10 men, apart from 2 moments where there were a bit of luck from them and misfortune from us. I can't fault the lads. So losing the 99th minute when they put everything on the line, I'm proud of the lads as always. It is a result that's a kick in the teeth. We are in tomorrow and we'll recover, analyse these things. We could have done better, pick ourselves up. There were parts of the game, even with 10 men, I was pleased with, but it's disappointing to not get any points. Law added, without being disrespectful, I thought there was only one team going to go on and win if we had 11 men. Well, to be honest, all the attacking that we did came from the second half. We had literally fuck all in the first half. So, obviously, Millie scores that goal, that creates the momentum, and we could have kept going that way like we usually do in the second half. We played these really intelligent balls forward, and it could have brought us that victory. I can sort of agree there. However, obviously, we go down to 10 men, and we have to change the game plan entirely. Yeah, once Millie scores the goal, we are on the front foot and had a couple of chances after it. With 10 men, it's hard against any team, let alone in the Championship. Cardiff have some good players and can hurt you. We kept them at bay for large parts. There are 2 moments we feel we can do better. It is a killer, isn't it? I can't ask for more from the lads. There are some certain parts we'll have to look at, but when you're down to 10 men, are dead on your feet, have given everything and they're bringing fresh legs on with quality. They had 6 at the top at the end of the pitch at one point. They still haven't opened us up. The goals are scruffy. One has come from Dwayne hitting it on Grant's leg and it creeps in. The other is a short corner and we've left someone unattended. Well, which obviously the corner you could have done better with, but even if they did score that for the equaliser and that clearance went better, then obviously we could have at least taken a point, or vice versa. So it is what it is. It's just about managing that game a little bit better, and that's why I think the fresh legs that we need to bring on need to be better substitutions, because they're bringing on substitutions to help them drive forward. Like he says, they've got 6 up front. We've got 1 up front and about 9 back. So, fair enough, we're trying to keep the back door shut, but we need to be pushing for that winner, because if we don't, we can't kill the game off. That's what I'm saying. So we need to start taking chances. Brady's 2 yellows. No, none at all. When asked if he had complaints, okay. I didn't even know Robbie had been booked, if truth be known. When he gave the second yellow, the bench was wondering what for. The second yellow? No, we know what the second yellow was for. Apparently when Ched and their player got booked, he gave an extra yellow card to Robbie. I'll have to look back, but if you're going to take someone down when on a yellow, you're going to get a second, aren't you? So that's disappointing. I'll talk to him about it tomorrow, because I'm disappointed. When you go down to 10 and your team, with any team, it's going to be tough. There is no blame culture. We're a squad, we win, we lose and draw together. No, but we do blame him for that, because that was fucking stupid. The first yellow card, yeah, maybe not. You can get away with that, but if you don't get involved, you don't get booked. On his team selection, we picked. Brownie, we picked what we picked. Sorry. Brownie wasn't quite right, and Mads was sick. Okay. He went home yesterday at training sick. Woodburn has a bug and didn't turn up today. There's a lot of bugs going around. Even I'm not too well myself. Millie was probably the freshest one. Miller landed in the country on Thursday morning, didn't train, and did a little bit yesterday. Best had obviously played, and we felt we needed to go with what we went with. Husey and Jack have just come back. The team is always easy to pick in a roundabout way, because everyone can go in and do a job. We'll pick ourselves up and go again. I do agree with that step, and that's fine, fair enough. But when things are going tits up, you need to be paying attention to the game. You didn't know Robbie Brady had a yellow in the first half. That's when you need to sort of open your eyes and give your head a wobble, because if you could have taken him off at half time for Miller, that wouldn't have happened. Or if you would have taken him off not long into the second half before he got the card, it wouldn't have happened. On the substitutions, we had 2 Bestie and Ched were on yellow cards. You didn't take, you didn't know Brady had the card, fair enough. But if under that logic, you need to pay attention to the game, look at who's been booked, and take Robbie off. You just don't know what's going to happen after that. You can't question the subs we did. Everything was spot on. No, it wasn't. We just had 2 moments where we couldn't defend 2 set plays. We've got to try and withstand it. I don't agree with that at all. I think that's complete and utter bollocks. Don't get me wrong. I like Ryan Lowe. Not got a problem with him. I think he gets a lot right. But he got quite a bit wrong today in terms of the substitutions that he made. The starting lineup was fine. We worked around the starting lineup, and we looked to be getting some momentum. But as soon as things went tits up in the second half, after Brady got sent off, that's where we need to start looking at the game plan and switching it up, instead of continuing to do the same thing or going into our back mode, because it's just not going to work. On Collins not being sent off, yeah, this is some... Did he score? No. For some reason I thought he scored. It was right in front of me, but I'm not going to comment on it because that's not my job. Ched hit the floor. You're not getting anything out of me on it, but if that headbutt happens, and it happens, I don't want to get embroiled with the refs and all that. I just want our lads and what... I just want to worry about our lads and what we do, the stuff on the field. Like the carry-ons with some of their members of staff behind, I don't know. We got a bit more nose. Yeah, we got a bit more nose than some. On the scuffle after the final whistle, I didn't even see this, because as soon as the second goal went in, my head just went down. I just weren't even looking at the pitch. And at full time, I was sort of the same. I just sat down. Everyone in front of me stood up, so I can't see what's going on. I don't know what happened. I was just walking on, giving our lads high fives, and I saw the commotion. The referee has pulled me in to say I'll have to report it. I just got all our lads away and didn't see. But listen, if you conceded in the 99th minute, I'm disappointed, and there are maybe 1 or 2 things being said, but I don't know. That's football. Yeah, it is football. People are going to get pissy. I know you're not supposed to do this and whatnot, and I don't want to repeat at Swansea. It's just these Welsh teams, innit? But yeah, it is what it is. I didn't see any of the commotion personally. I don't know who did it. As far as I'm aware, players like Brown just walked straight down the tunnel, didn't even bother to stick around. He's just literally fucked off. He's had enough. So I think more power to him in that in that case, because if that was me, I wouldn't be walking around clapping either. Yeah, fair enough to the fans. He's probably clapped as he's walked off, but I wouldn't be doing a lap of the pitch, because it's an extremely disappointing way to lose a game, and you can't just go and parade that. Now, as far as I know, there is no interviews from Brady. There is a word from Lindsay, who's also a bit confused by the cards and whatnot. But beside that, it's all guns and roses here. Let's see what the Cardiff manager had to say quickly. The substitutions helped a lot. We created a lot more chances with Ollie Tanner, with Rubin, with Ike and Wintle. We kept the ball, circulated it really well, and was waiting for that chance to score, the first and then the second in the 99th. Also, we didn't allow the opponent chances. That goal from our mistake and a counter-attack. Preston had a good counter-attack inside and scored. That is true. They started the season great with 6 wins. They won their last 2 games and are a really strong team at home. But today we didn't allow them chances. I think all of my players today tried really hard to get this win, so I can't pick out any individual players because football is teamwork, and today my team showed teamwork. I can agree for the most part with what he's just said. But I can also disagree completely, because yeah, we're a good counter-attacking side, and it was a good goal to get scored, and yeah, you didn't allow us any opportunities, but because you was too busy denying us opportunities, you haven't been able to get forward. You've had lots of shots, granted. We look at the stats, you've had a lot of shots, and you've had 8 shots on target, but the shots that you were taking, they're just not brilliant shots, and that's why you've only got 2 goals out of the game. If you're taking your chances a bit better, you're going to score more than twice, and those goals that you did score were from set pieces, and one was a dodgy clearance, so I don't see that argument as valid as maybe he will in his head, but it is what it is. It's my opinion. He's got his opinion, hunky dory. So yeah, disappointing, very disappointing. But at least we don't need to play Brady for 2 weeks now, so that we can at least focus on attacking football, because Brady won't make the attacking football games. Don't get me wrong, before he got sent off, I didn't think he had an awful game. I think he was making some good passes here and there. He's defending, more to be desired. He needs to take people on a bit more, but it is what it is. The referee were no better either. He made some very strange choices. Absolute knobhead for not sending off that Collins, but it is what it is. Like I said, referees need to be investigated. Robbie Brady's Ladbrokes account needs to be investigated. And yeah, it's just, it is what it is. So we'll pick ourselves up, go again Tuesday, hopefully get a result at Middlesbrough, because it's a team that at the minute, we should be trying to get results against teams like Middlesbrough. We can't go into that game and show them respect, because if we show a team like that respect, who were at the bottom but are now slowly crawling back up, we're going to get hammered. So we need to go in there and just show a bit of grit and get the game over and done with. And after Middlesbrough, I believe we play QPR at home on the 1st of December. So hopefully things will turn back around for the QPR game, but if not, it is what it is. So thanks for listening in. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope your spirits are better than they were, but it is what it is. So yeah, thanks a ton, and I'll see you Tuesday. No, Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday.